Good morning, everyone. How are we all doing today? It's Saturday, and I'm filming real world calls, and I'm working tomorrow, so we gotta get some stuff done today. I was talking with an old friend of mine, and it was great because we both started cooking professionally, working for Red Lobster. And that was going back a long time ago. Like, Red Lobster was in Quebec 30 years ago. So we're going back a while. And I want to recreate one of my favorite dishes there, everyone's favorite dishes, the garlic shrimp scampi. Now, I'm not going to use all the powdered ingredients and stuff like that they have because it just made it easier for everyone. We're going to go fresh, and we're going to go simple, and we're going to go easy. And to go along with it, we're going to make some garlic knots, which I have already stretched out in front of me, just using our simple pizza dough that we've used. Sorry, I've got something in my eye. That we've used 100 times before. So what I have here, just to get everything going, is we have a pound of deveined but shell-on shrimp. This is important because it's going to add a lot of flavor to the final dish. But we want to get these marinated just a little bit. So, and it's really, really simple. Just making sure we're open. We're just going to add a sprinkle of salt. Not much. Some couple of cloves of crushed garlic. I just did this quickly off camera because no one needs to see me crush garlic. And a shot of olive oil. Just enough to get everything coated. So it just looks like that. And give it a little toss. And there we go. Those are going to marinate for maybe 5-6 minutes. But in the meantime, I want to get some garlic knots done. Now, all I've done is I've taken our pizza dough, I've rolled it out into ropes. You can make these as thin, as thick, as big, as you like. It doesn't make any difference. Because I have a lot extra here, I am going to cut some just to do like breadsticks with. But it's more just to balance out the edges. So I'm going to make these cut these into about 4-inch ropes. Just like we have there. And they're called garlic knots because, well, you tie a knot in it. Now, if it's a little bit hard to do, just work with it a second. It'll come together. And that's it. We have our knot. We'll do that again. If you want, you can roll it out a bit more. There we are. Another knot. I'm just going to do that with the last one here. Now, if you have, like this one, some little tails at the end, that's fine. It's still going to taste really good. I've got my second rope here. I'm going to do the same. What I do say, though, is try, when you're rolling them out, to make them the same thickness, just so they'll cook at in the same amount of time. Because these are going to cook really fast. There's nothing to them. It's just a thin little piece of pizza dough. Come on. They don't always come out too easy, but like you can see, all I've done is tie little knots in those. Simple. What we are going to do now is we're going to switch over to the stove because we have to make, well, some garlic butter. It kind of helps. So we're just going to reposition everything and we'll be back in a second. Okay. There we are. So we've repositioned. We have our skillet that we've just warmed up over some medium-low heat. It's not garlic butter without butter. And you want to use, depending on how much you're making, 1/4 cup, 1/2 cup of butter. Don't forget, this is also going to go to cook our shrimp with. We are just going to add a little tablespoon of olive oil there. That'll just stop everything from burning, but also adds a really nice flavor. You don't need crazy heat to do this. We don't want to brown the butter. We just want to kind of melt it up. So, now of course, it's not garlic butter, well, without garlic. So I have here just a few cloves that I thinly sliced. And this we just want to cook for a couple of seconds. We don't want the garlic to really brown or take any color. We just want it to start flavoring the butter and the oil that's in there. Okay. So we have our tray with our garlic knots. We're just going to give them a nice little coating. Can be as liberal as you want because let's face it, we're all going to be dunking these in that garlic butter once the shrimp are cooked. This is going to give those shrimp, the sticks, a nice brown color and some flavor. Those just go in a 425 oven now for about 10 to 15 minutes. While those are cooking, we have our shrimp that we marinated here, and like I said, they are shell on, so that's going to help to protect the shrimp from burning. And this we just want to quickly do. Keep them even. And we're only going to cook these partially. We aren't going to cook these all the way through. Why? Because they're going to go back into the sauce once again. So you can see when you first put them in, they start off white. Then after they've cooked for a sec, they turn pink. So we're just going to give these all a quick little flip. As I say, make sure they all cook up a little even. And how can you tell when they're done? Well, if you've got skin on but deveined shrimp, they'll start to open up a little bit. Just like that one is. But also the tails will open up a touch. So these are smelling really, really good already. Between the garlic butter, the shrimp, everything. So these have been in for less than a minute. And what we're going to do is we're going to take them out. Kind of want to try and do this quickly because you want to cook all evenly. And obviously the longer they stay in the pan, the more they're cooking. But by the same token, we don't want to break these up. There we go. Those just go aside. We still have a lot of our garlic butter in here. Now it's time to make the scampi sauce. To do that, we have the juices from the shrimp, the garlic, the butter, the olive oil. We just need a little bit of white wine. About half a cup. And then turn the heat up on that because we do want it to reduce. That's reducing now. We're going to add a little pinch of pepper. Literally, it's a pinch. We only need, like, if you want a measurement, it's maybe a quarter of a teaspoon. Very, very little. Next, we have the zest of 1 whole lemon. The zest is just the yellow part of the skin. You don't want to get into the white, because that's where all the bitterness is, all the nasty stuff. Again, we're just going to let that cook for a second. Then we're going to take the lemon that we used for the zest. I'm just going to give it a squeeze and get that lemon juice in there. Always use a fresh lemon. Don't use the stuff that comes in a plastic bottle. If you get a few seeds, it happens. Pick them out. No matter how long you cook those, they're never going to taste good. So our sauce now is coming together. I'm going to turn that heat up a bit more. Let's give our lots of chip. They're coming along really nicely. Just set a timer there. So what we want is this sauce to thicken up a little bit. And it will as it cooks. It's smelling really, really nice. I'm just stirring it so that none of the garlic sticks to the pan and burns. Now, needless to say, when Red Lobster did this, they didn't go through any of these steps. They literally had melted butter. They added a seasoning pack to it, which had all the same flavors, except either dehydrated or simulated, that they would just pour over the shrimp. By giving it that extra little step of cooking them quickly in the garlic butter, it just adds a little bit more flavor to everything. They come out so nicely. Next, something everyone thinks is just garnish, but it actually adds a lot of flavor to everything. And that's just some roughly chopped parsley. Now, if you see your sauce is a little bit thin, like I think mine is still a little bit on the thin side, you can add a little bit more butter. Added about a tablespoon there. And that'll just help bring the sauce together more. Also, if you wanted, at this point, if you were going to say do this over pasta, which is a very popular, common dish in a lot of Italian restaurants, now would be a good time to add 1 diced tomato, just so it cooks through and heats up a bit. But I like sticking with this classic way. It's quick, it's simple. Again, that sauce has come together nicely. Now we add our shrimp and whatever juices came out, back to the mix. And these are only going to take a minute or so. They are not going to take long, because these are going to continue cooking even once you've taken them out off the heat. So we'll swap to my tongs again. And try and pick one up. And as you can see, this is what I mean about how they open and how they butterfly. But right now that garlic butter is getting in there between the shell and the meat. And I understand some of you won't want to use shell on. As long as you get them with the tail still on, that's okay. But like I say, it just brings a lot more flavor to the dish. And that's it. They're done. So for once, our main course is taking longer than the side to cook. So I'm going to turn those off. And I'm just going to quickly move this. And there I am. So while I wait for the rest of the garlic knots to cook, we're just going to take a quick pause and we'll be right back. And there we are back. We took the bread rolls out of the oven. We have all of our beautiful garlic shrimp. And this is what I have so look forward to. They're perfectly cooked. To peel these, the easiest way, just go near the tail, peel on either side, and then just slide it off. Is it messy? Yep. Is it worth the work? Oh yes. This is a dish that needs a lot of napkins. Oh yes. Or you're going to be licking your fingers a lot like I am. Those shrimp are cooked perfectly. Nice little snap to them. They were in the pan for less than 5 minutes. You can taste the garlic, the parsley, the white wine comes through. Even a little hit of olive oil in the back. We have our garlic knots. Well, I have the knots here, but I just decided to grab one of the breadsticks. And of course, you know, that goes right into that scampi sauce as well. And a little bit crispy, very chewy. I need a napkin. Really, really nice. Now, I did top this with a little bit of Parmesan cheese just at the end, some freshly grated cheese. It's an optional step. I like it. Some people won't. That's fine. Just don't put it on. So just remember when you're making this dish, try and use shell on shrimp. Use a good wine. Don't use a wine you wouldn't drink or serve alongside this. Quickly marinate your shrimp. Put them in the pan for just a few minutes. When you have your olive oil and your garlic going, then add your butter, your wine, your parsley. Put your shrimp back in until they're just barely cooked. Don't forget the heat will continue to cook these for a bit. Serve with a nice side of garlic butter. I'm serving these with breadsticks and garlic knots, but you could do it with cheddar biscuits, or you could just do it with rice and some pasta. Very, very simple dish. An incredible, quick meal. serve it as a starter, serve it as a main. But I really, really hope you try this. These are just so good. And to think what restaurants charge for these is such a shame, because I got this pound of shrimp here that I am going to devour for less than $6. Now, what does that mean in the restaurant world? It means they're really cheap. What does it mean to you? Well, if you go to Red Lobster and you get garlic shrimp, you get 10 of them. And that means they're getting 3 to 4 servings out of a pound of shrimp. So it means 4 of you are eating basically what I have right here. Now, I think you'd enjoy to have a lot more than they would. So good. Well, thank everyone for stopping by. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. I'll put it up somewhere around there. If you're coming back to the channel, thank you ever so much, and hit that like button. It shows me and YouTube that you enjoy the content I'm making. And also, don't forget, I have now teamed up with Buy Me a Coffee. So if you want to help contribute to the channel with just a simple cup of coffee, the link is down below in the description. So until next time, if you enjoy meals like this, we'll see you then. Have a great time, enjoy, and thank you for coming to the kitchen.